Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing the new Marc Jacobs concealer. This is their Accomplice concealer and touch-up stick. So I was super excited to get my hands on this. I could not wait, so I actually went ahead and just ordered it online on this Sephora website. Now they do have 17 different shades. They have 2 fair shades, which is what I am, and they had Fair 10, which was more of a cool undertone, and Fair 16, which is what I got, which they said warm undertone. However, I did try it out. I am wearing it right now, and it is more, I was worried it was going to be too warm. It is more of like a neutral kind of peachy undertone, which worked out great for myself. Comes in a beautiful sleek packaging, just like so. Looks very much like a lipstick container, which I believe is what they were going for. Something that you could just easily throw into your bag. And once you open the top, just like that, and you do twist it up, similar to a lipstick. So I do really enjoy the formulation of this. I'll go ahead and kind of swatch it on for you. Goes on super creamy. So as you can tell, it's more of like a peachy undertone, which I really enjoy, especially for underneath the eyes. It worked out great at canceling out any kind of dark circles. Now, if you are new to my channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. And if you like this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, check out my Instagram page. My Instagram handle is ashhasna. It'll be listed in the description box below. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Now, before we go ahead and jump straight into the video, I did want to mention what I've been using for skincare. Lately, my skin has been easily irritated, super inflamed, so I honestly just went back to the basics. I haven't been using a lot of products. For cleanser, I'm just using the Clinique Mild Facial Soap, and for moisturizer, I'm using the Clinique Dramatically Different Hydrating Jelly. It's been working really well. I haven't had any irritation. Things are kind of starting to clear up. Good news is I haven't had any recent breakouts. All the redness is just dealing with what is kind of left over. Unfortunately, just because of my skin tone and how pale I am, the redness still shows up quite a bit, as well as the acne scarring. I have yet to find that kind of miracle product to help get rid of it all. If you have any recommendations, definitely leave a comment below because I would love to hear them. Because as of right now, everything I've tried just isn't really working. So like I said, I just kind of went back to the basics, and I'm just treating my skin how I used to, and then just hoping that it heals on its own. Now for the exciting part, Marc Jacobs released a new concealer. It is called the Accomplice Concealer and Touch-Up Stick. Now, comes in a very sleek, compactable case. Actually looks just like a lipstick almost. And it's great. It's going to fit in your clutch, kind of just on the go. That was kind of the whole purpose of it. It does come in 17 different shades. I am praying that the shade works for me. They only had two fair shades. One was shade 10, and it was fair with cool undertones. And then the one I got is fair 16, which is fair with warm undertones. The reason I went with 16, normally I would go with cool undertones just because of my skin tone. However, when I was looking online, the 10 looked very pink. So I didn't really want to go down that route. So I just thought I'd try the 10, see if it works. Now for the purpose of this video, I typically will place the concealer underneath my foundation. I don't usually go over top. I place it underneath, foundation over top, and then I set everything. However, I do want to see kind of how they both work together. So I think on this side of my face, I am going to go ahead and place the concealer first. Then I'll place foundation all over the face, and then on this side, I'll just kind of place the concealer over top and see kind of which one works better. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right in and try out this product. I have high hopes for this. I did try a little bit, just kind of swatched it, and it's super creamy. I'm just going to go ahead and place some on my finger here and just kind of dab it around. Actually, that's quite a nice shade. It's actually very matte. Not too bad so far. Now it's creamy to the touch, but once you start placing it on the skin, it actually, I don't know how to explain it, almost dries down. Like there's not like a ton of oils or anything in this, which I am honestly okay with. It's not as creamy as the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. With that being said, it's not going to spread as far. So I have a feeling I would probably go through this stick pretty quickly. But if it works out well, it's a great kind of touch up on the go. I'm also going to try it underneath the eyes. I have a feeling it is going to be a little too dry. Maybe not actually. It's feeling pretty good. As of right now, the concealer that I like to use under the eye is, let me see if I have it, I do. The Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer. This stuff is great. It's super creamy. However, I can't use it on the rest of my face just because, well, for one, there's not enough coverage, and two, it is super creamy, so I find that it kind of moves around throughout the day. This is actually a pretty good shade match. I like this so far. All right, so for foundation, I'm gonna go over with my Lancome. This is the Tient Idol Ultra Wear. This is my go-to foundation, so, and I am in shade 210 Buff Neutral, and just with my beauty blender. So, like I said, I'm just going to apply this all over the face. See how that concealer stays on underneath, or if it kind of lifts. Blend it out a tiny bit, so I'll actually have to go in and touch up that area. The reason as to why I like placing my concealer first is I find that I don't use as much foundation. I don't want a heavy coverage of foundation on, so usually when I go in with the concealer, I end up using a lot less. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start placing the concealer on this side, kind of touching up any areas that I feel needed some extra coverage. And then I will zoom you guys in and we'll kind of take a final look, and then I'll kind of go ahead and touch up everywhere. So we'll see how well this kind of lays over foundation here. And I like using my finger more so just because your fingers can warm up the product and it's just easier to move around that way. Have a little bit more control. I was worried that this was going to be so creamy that it was going to kind of like smudge, move around, crease a lot, but I honestly don't think you'll have that issue at all. Like, I honestly think you almost don't even have to set this. I'm going to, but if you're in a rush or if you're using this as almost like a touch-up product, I don't actually think you do. Now that blended in super nice. It didn't kind of grab at any dry spots that I may have, which I have a lot of, so that's saying something. Now I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in here, so you can kind of just take a look. So this is the side where I concealed first before going over with foundation. I'm thinking it actually looks pretty good. When I went over the foundation, I did notice that it grabbed the concealer a little bit. So I would have to go in and touch up any areas that I needed to afterwards. But with that being said, there's not too much. Don't mind my eyebrows. I am getting them threaded today. It's just, I've been letting them grow out for a few months, so. And this is the side where I concealed afterwards. So quite a bit better. I actually like the concealing afterwards, and I might not use as much product either, which is kind of the route that you may have to go with this concealer. Now I'm going to go ahead and touch up any areas that I feel need a little bit more coverage. At that same time, I'm going to just do the rest of my makeup, eyes, eyebrows, all that good stuff, and I will be back with my final thoughts. Now I remembered that I am going to go get my eyebrows threaded today, so I did not put on any eyebrows or mascara, because if I had, I'd be leaving with 2 black eyes as my eyes water so much when I get my eyebrows threaded. Now, as far as the concealer went, I'm really enjoying it so far. I did go ahead and I just placed a little bit of contour, some blush, and setting powder. For setting powder, I used the Hourglass. This is their Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This stuff is great for dry skin. As well as contour, I just use my trusty Dior Universal Contour Palette. I love this thing. I actually use it mostly on a day-to-day basis as an eyeshadow palette as well. So just a little tip there. I'll actually go ahead and zoom you guys in so you guys can see for yourselves how the concealer is sitting on the skin, as well as how the powder is sitting on top of it. Again, my skin is super dry, so don't take that into consideration when you're taking a look at the concealer. In my opinion, it's actually sitting quite nicely. The Fenty Beauty actually gets a lot more dry on my skin. So you can see here in this area, the forehead, and so it did cover up nicely. The shade actually worked out quite perfectly. I also have it underneath the eyes. There's a little bit of creasing, but I just have super deep crease lines in there. But it's not sticking to any kind of dry patches in here, which is very nice. So far, I'm liking it. Again, I'm gonna have to see how it wears throughout the day. As the day goes on, my skin does not get oilier, it gets drier. So we'll see how things kind of pick up, if it dries out in any specific areas, if the eyes get a little bit kind of crusty. So I will definitely have to do kind of like a follow-up video. So far, I'm really enjoying it though. It worked great for under the eyes, and it worked great for blemishes, which is a thumbs up in my area, because as of right now I'm always using two different concealers, one for the eye and one for blemishes, just because the eyes usually take a much creamier product. So the fact that this so far is working for both is great in my opinion. And that is all we have for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below, kind of let me know what kind of content you guys want to see, and hopefully within the next week I'll have a follow-up video just to give you guys my further thoughts, because I'll definitely have to try this product out a little bit more. I'll see you all again next time.